What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video on Pure Panorama. This video, you can see that we had changed the fuel filter on my 24 valve Cummins. It is late right now, so I didn't have much time to really go through stuff. I am just checking for leaks right now. Everything seems to be good. So everything seems to be fine. It doesn't seem to be leaking. Let's shut this thing down real quick and we'll talk. Now that we know we have no leaks, we can talk about a couple of things. I'll start by saying this for anybody who has never changed their fuel filter on one of these second gen 24 valve Cummins trucks. It is the most straightforward procedure that you are probably ever going to do on your truck. You need an 1 1/8" socket to take the cap off your stock fuel filter housing. So you go ahead and pop that free, and then the little drain lever that is on the front of the fuel filter housing, go ahead and lift that up. Have a catch pan underneath it so that you can catch the fuel that comes out of the housing because it's going to drain. Go ahead, drain it down after you break the seal by cracking the cap loose. It will drain quicker that way, and it will drain period that way, I should say. So crack it. Start to drain it, get that fuel level down, get all that old nasty crap out of there, whatever, all the fuel that the old filter was in. You don't want to dunk your new filter into that. You just pull fresh, good fuel out of the tank after installing the new filter. So go ahead, do that. Go ahead, pull the cap off with the filter on it. Pop your old filter off the cap, then you can pull the O-ring off from around the cap. Go ahead, stick your new filter in there, put your new O-ring on. I always get the new O-ring wet with fuel and kind of get it lubricated. I never install it dry. And then it's simple. You just go ahead, drop it back in there with the cap, the new O-ring, and start to hand tighten it. Now be very careful when you do that because it is super easy to cross thread this cap. And the other crappy thing about it is these caps will break. So they're pretty finicky if you don't have them threaded on there just right, and you'll know it because it will screw on there tough. It'll be hard to screw on there if it's cross threaded. If you don't have it cross threaded, you should be able to tighten it right down by hand. And then I always put that 1 1/8" socket back on there, and I give it a little crank just to make sure that it is snugged right down and good, so that hopefully we don't have any leaks. Even just now when I went to prime it, I did have a little leak and I had to tighten it down just a little bit more. So that's not a bad thing. If you don't tighten it all the way the first time and you go to prime your system to fill that fuel canister or your fuel filter housing back up, if you have a leak at that point, that's not a bad thing. Just tighten it back down again and go ahead and reprime it to bring fuel back up into the housing. But once you got it all put back together, like I said, you have to prime it, and what you're gonna do is just bump your key as if you're gonna start the truck, but don't start it. Just bump it, let it come back, let your fuel filter run. Now in the event that for whatever reason, if you don't have a FASS or an Air Dog on your truck, an aftermarket lift pump, and you still have the stock lift pump and it for whatever reason isn't priming your fuel filter housing, well, that's not a good thing. You could always take the cap back off with the filter and go ahead and fill it up with some fresh fuel from a can, and just to get it filled up so that it was primed, and then put your filter back in, tighten it all down, and go to start the truck then and see if you can't get it going. But you're definitely going to have to look at getting a new lift pump because you don't want to tax your VP44 injection pump like that and make your VP44 injection pump do all the work to suck fuel and feed itself, basically. You definitely want to straighten that out and get a new lift pump on there. And at that point, you're probably better off just getting an aftermarket one, getting that good fuel pressure and that good fuel flow up there to the VP44 to keep her healthy. But like I said, that is it. It's very simple and straightforward. Now, the thing that I really want to talk about in this video and discuss with you guys, more or less just bring to your attention, because I know that I have a lot of guys out there right now who know these trucks like the back of their hand. They have plenty of experience with them, and you're smarter than I am with them. So when I ask questions and I bring questions up, it's so that everybody can learn here on the channel if they ever run into a problem like I experienced that I haven't diagnosed yet or figured out. So the thing that happened today with my 24 valve is my boss and I were out on lunch just ripping the streets and getting food, had to make a few stops, and we were getting into some back roads and stuff, so we were just having fun. I hammered down on the throttle, got into it, put it to the floor, and just gave it all she had, man. Just wanted to see what the truck was made of, what she could do after we've been doing a lot of work to this thing, just fixing the previous owner's negligence, picking up his slack, and trying to get this truck turned around. And I will say right now, I am happy with how the truck runs compared to what it was on day one when I picked it up and brought it home. It is a completely different truck, and I'm thrilled with how it runs right now, how it rides, everything. So everything is obviously paying off as you would expect it to. But today, after hammering down on it and getting into it, just to kind of see how quick it would get up to 85, 90, 100, whatever on a back road, we were headed back to the job site, and I started to hear like almost sounds like someone was underneath the dashboard and they were tapping on the dash, like a clicking, tapping type of noise, like a tick almost. And I don't know what it was. I thought maybe it was the busted up dash underneath the dash cover. But when I got home tonight, just like any other night, I always do the same thing. I hop out of the truck, I do a walk around, I listen to it, I look it over and just check stuff out as I let it cool down and idle down before I shut it off. So I get out and I'm walking around and I pop the hood and I could hear like this real faint, I don't know if I'd call it a thumping noise or what, almost like a faint like helicopter type of noise. And I'm talking so faint that it was very hard to hear, and I might be hearing something, like I might be tripping, I don't know. But it might not be anything, but I guess I just wanted to bring it up to your guys' attention and ask you if you've ever had anything like that, if you ever experienced it, what you think it might be. If I hear a noise that I know isn't a noise that should be there or something, obviously I want to get that figured out as soon as possible and stuff. But I more so want to bring it up because if it does turn into something or ends up being anything, where I struggle diagnosing stuff with the truck is when it comes to engine internals and parts like that. So if I hear a noise or whatever and I bring it up to you guys and I ask questions about it to you to get your feedback and any input, it's to help me diagnose it just in case I overlook something that could possibly be the engine making that noise. I haven't had enough experience in engines and the internals, internal workings of them to be able to take a noise and basically trace it back and track it to any one specific part. Like if a pushrod or a valve or something was going out or went out, I wouldn't have enough experience to trace that back and figure that out. Eventually I would through research and talking to people and stuff like that, but I wouldn't be able to just hop out and kind of pinpoint it in 15-20 minutes type of deal. But anyways, without going too far into that or whatever, anybody have any thoughts on what that noise could possibly be? Little tapping noise like someone's underneath the dashboard just tapping on it and you can hear it in the cab. It has to be something from the engine bay that is just kind of radiating through the firewall and you hear inside the cab. And the other problem is it's tough to diagnose stuff on these because they're so damn loud. But I'm starting to pick up on things and get a little bit better. This is the first Cummins that I've owned, so like I've said a million times on the channel already, I am learning as I go with these things and trying to gain as much knowledge as I can to share with others and for myself. So I bring this question to you and ask you for your input and your thoughts and look forward to seeing what you guys have to say. Even if I won't like what your response is or what you're going to have to say, if it's something that's going to be like, make me want to pull my hair out, well, it is what it is. I need to hear anything and everything, any possibilities that you think that noise could be so that I can start there and look into it. That's it for this video though, guys. I apologize. We only got a fuel filter done and I kind of ran over that and then brought a noise to your attention to ask for some diagnosing help. Lately, it probably seems like I do more talking in videos than I do work, and that probably annoys some people and stuff. I do notice people hitting the dislike button there more frequently lately, but I can't please everybody every day, and I can't always do things to the truck every day and pull things apart and have to worry about putting it back in time for me to make it to work the next day. That's much easier for me to do on weekends and stuff, but I do what I can, and I always will for the channel and for you guys, and in bringing content here for you guys to watch, whether it is me talking or getting work done, whatever. I've said this too a million times. I started this channel for myself and others to use it as a learning platform and be able to learn about their trucks and fixing them and getting help from one another and to build friendships and stuff. So that's what this is all about here in what I want it to be and grow into even more. So as always, do hit that like button on your way out. Don't hit the thumbs down button. Come on, if you don't like it, just move along. There's no need. Don't hit the thumbs down button, even though you guys are probably all gonna hit it now that I said that. If you're stopping into the channel for the first time, you're new here, you should hit that subscribe button because we have awesome guys here on this channel with tons and tons of knowledge to help you out with your truck, anything that you might run into with it, problem-wise, whatever it is. We got the answer for you here on Pure Panorama. One way or another, someone will hook you up with what you need. So hit that subscribe button, join the family, and I will see you tomorrow in the next video, which actually will be we'll be getting ready to leave and go to the Diesel Nationals. So I'm pumped for that. Let me tell you, I need a break away from the house, away from this driveway, this truck, away from work. This is going to be a fun weekend, and I can't even explain to you how happy I am to just get out of here and be in my own little world, just daydreaming. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.